Welcome to the tutorial for League of Legends integration in LHM.GG. In this video, we'll discuss how to properly prepare your game to work with LHM, how to take advantage of all the capabilities available in one of our built-in HUDs, how to launch Fearless Draft, and use the integration with two PCs. Let's discuss configuration, starting by explaining how our integration works. For most of the data, we use OCR, which stands for Optical Character Recognition. This means that some elements from the game, such as the match bar or scoreboard, must be constantly visible for the data to be read from them. However, this is not a big problem because, as you will see for yourself, our HUDs effectively cover the interface from the game, so the entire transmission can be running even from one computer. We also use the publicly accessible API, while taking into account that it is very limited in the data available during the game. We do not gain much input from it. These are only basic data like player names or levels. The case is different for the draft phase, where 100% of the data is taken from the API. League of Legends integration works as an add-on for LHM. This means that it must be additionally downloaded inside the application. To do so, just go to the game selection and click on the League of Legends section, after which the download will start. Optionally, if you are using a paid plan, you can download and enable the add-on from the add-ons tab of any other game supported in LHM. And that's it as far as the configuration in LHM itself is concerned. At this point, we can already move to the game. First of all, the game window must be in 1920 by 1080 resolution in borderless windowed mode in order for OCR to read the data correctly, otherwise the integration will not fully work. The second thing is to display particular interface fields we need so that OCR can read data from them. These are score display, blue team frames, red team frames, scoreboard, objective timers. Remember to use the basic size of the interface. We do not use other interface fields for OCR, but you can display them as you wish. It will not affect the functioning on the LHM side. In addition, if you are using Korean or Chinese, make sure you have the appropriate in-game font option selected in the LHM settings. For these two languages, the font is different from the others, which means that OCR will not be able to read data from it if you do not check the corresponding option. When we have this ready, we can now run the HUD, which should be fully operational. To give you an idea of the possibilities our overlay offers in League of Legends, we will use our most advanced Ultra HUD available for professional and enterprise plan owners with at least 3 seats. Let's start the discussion with what every competitive game starts with, which is the draft phase. Our HUDs, of course, also support this stage of the game. As we have already mentioned, the draft fully uses the API, so no additional actions are required for it to work, apart from installing the add-on itself. So all you have to do is start the draft and launch the HUD. To demonstrate this, I will quickly create a game with bots, so the actual data will not be perfect, but it will show on what principle the whole thing works. As you can see, we display all the most important information like team names, bans, picks, draft status, timer, indicator of who is currently making decisions, etc. The entire draft is fully automated, so you don't have to do anything manually. LHM tracks the progress on its own and displays it in an eye-catching way on HUD. However, in Ultra HUD, there are minor modifications that you can make to the HUD settings. Let's start by choosing a color palette. This option will apply to both draft and in-game overlay. There are 6 palettes available. The 3 available inputs allow you to enter your own text. Tournament title will be displayed in the middle. Left and right draft text speak for themselves. Hide avatar backdrops allows you to disable the background of players' photos. Hide team logos in draft backgrounds, hide summoner spells images, and hide player position icons are also options that do exactly what the name implies. You can also add a sponsorship picture. Once the draft is finished and the game begins, the HUD will automatically change to the corresponding overlay. As you can see, initially the HUD only displays the match bar, replacing the one from the game. Therefore, we will again go to the HUD settings and see what can be additionally shown and modified. In the In-Game Settings tab, you will find all the settings for the gameplay stage. The first option is Player to Preview on the left and right side, which will display players' avatars or feed from their webcams if LHM cameras are configured. Since this is a manual option, to streamline this, you can also change it with keybinds control +1 to 5 for the left side and control +6 to 0 for the right side. If you don't want to change this manually, you have the option to set the Preview Players Automatically option, which will automatically switch players on both sides every few seconds. The players will be changed in the order in which they appear on the scoreboard, so you can place them opposite in relation to the role they play. You can also change the number of seconds after which the players visible in the windows will automatically change. Hide match bar and hide Baron and Dragon timers again do what the name says. There are 5 buttons available below. In-Game Default simply displays the gameplay overlay. In-Game with Gold Difference and In-Game with Timeline will display the gold difference chart or game timeline in place of the scoreboard and player windows. In order for this to work properly, the entire game must be viewed from the beginning, and you can't go backwards in the game. Scoreboard will display an almost full screen version of the scoreboard with all the most important information. Summary is a screen built with a finished match in mind that summarizes the entire game with statistics, objectives taken, performance, and others. Sponsor images from 1 to 5 will be displayed above the game scoreboard. Bottom left sponsor box covers the spectator window and shows the image on it. Camera delay in seconds allows you to delay the player's camera feeds by the entered number of seconds. This option is dedicated to tournaments taking place on a regular launcher, where 3 minutes must pass for the spectator to join the match. In this situation, enter 180 seconds and the player's camera view will reflect the game. Below are some minor detail options to the summary overlay. League of Legends integration supports Fearless Draft. To run it, you need to create a match and then turn on this feature. On the right side, you may notice that additional options have appeared. Each position is a separate game, to which all selections from the match will be automatically saved and displayed in the next draft. This can also be manually edited if needed. Keep in mind that the champion selection will be saved when the draft is ended, and the gameplay begins after loading. Only then the LHM is assured that the draft has finished. As you can see, the Fearless Draft data is now available. Also, remember to change your match, and once again, turn on Fearless Draft when there is a competition between 2 next teams. League of Legends integration can be used with 2 computers, where one gets the game data and the other displays it. This is especially useful if you would like to hide those elements from the game's interface that are needed to read the game data. To configure this, let's go to Settings. There you can find Data Gathering Mode. This option is responsible for transferring game data from one PC to another within the local network. The server is the PC that reads the data, and the client is the PC that receives it and displays the HUD. Remember that you must use the same account and workspace if you are using the enterprise plan for this to work. That's all for today. Now you should know how to properly configure LHM and League of Legends, how to start and use the HUD, run the Fearless Draft option, and use integration on 2 PCs with the server client setting. We'll see you in the next video.